What's going on, guys? It's me. We're back. Woo! Rolly chair this time. We got movement. The beard is coming in. Look at this. The thing about being Persian and Trinidadian is that you got a lot of facial hair. This is like less than 24 hours. It's frustrating when I have to be shaven on set, but it's great when I want to get my beard back. My wife is scared. My dog doesn't know who I am, but hey, here we are. The things about being an actor. You got to shave for auditions. Guys, boom. We're back with another special guest. Last time we got to interview a casting director. This time we're taking out the casting and going straight to set. We're going to interview a director, producer, former actress, creator of all sorts, multiple CSA nominee, winner of the Canadian Screen Awards, and of course, director of some of the biggest shows in Canada right now. If you don't know, then you're in the wrong business. Sharon Lewis is a director of Ginny and Georgia, Star Trek, Strange New Worlds. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, she actually was a former actress on Private Eyes and then got her shadowing gig on that show and is now currently a big-time director, big-time producer. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise. Sharon Lewis, join me on the stage, please.
Fareed, I don't recognize you because of the growth. You know what I mean?
I know.
It's a good thing you told me, because I'd be like, who's that guy? He's got like a, yeah, I would know. Also, I didn't know you were half Trini.
I am half Trini. Okay. It's great. You know, it's weird. I'm like, first of all, it's a strange mix. I don't even know how, I mean, Canada.
Version. I think you're the only one that I know. I'm Trini and Jamaican. You're the only Trini and Persian.
I'm the only one that I know. It's wild. And then the weird thing is, like, because I'm a little, like, you know, BiPOC, Persians are like, oh, you are Persian, but why are you so dark? And I'm like, come on, man. And then Trinidadians are like, oh, you have like eyebrows and like a weirder nose. And I'm like, I guess, yeah. It's a weird thing. I feel like Trini and Jamaican, it's like, you know, it's West Indies. You got some differences with some same.
That historically, Trinidadians did not like Jamaicans and Jamaicans did not like Trinidadians.
I know. I noticed
that. You know that?
I do know that, yes.
Yeah, so family get-togethers are like tense.
What part is Trini on your end?
So my dad was Trinidadian and my mom was Jamaican. And then I married a Chinese Jamaican.
Bless.
Yeah, so it's a thing.
So the food is fire.
The food is fire.
Yeah.
And I can say the food is fire. But you can just imagine, like, when we went to Trinidad, the Jamaican side was like, Trinidad is very dangerous. You know, you don't want to go to
Trinidad.
You know what I mean? And then you go to Jamaica and they're like, Jamaica's very dangerous. You don't want to go. Yeah.
It's always that. And then you go there and everyone's like really friendly and nice.
Yeah, it's all good.
As long as you're not wearing like your jewels on your neck and stuff, you're not flaunting.
Exactly.
You're not gallivanting, as they say, you're good.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go crazy with your credits, but look, you've done a lot of work recently, and just in general, you're one of the biggest Canadian directors. I know of you. You know, I've auditioned for you. I've seen your work. You know, Allegiance, Law and Order Toronto, Ginny and Georgia, Power. You know, like you've done a lot, and it's very interesting because you're the first that I've interviewed that's transitioned from being an actor to a director.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And you know, I do know a couple of directors who've gone that route. I feel like it's not common because you've worked really, like, you've had great credits as an actor as well. You've worked well as an actress. A lot of times it's like people who've dabbled in the world and have sort of kind of, you know, then they're like, okay, you know what, directing is actually for me, and then went full force. So, I mean, first of all, give me the Coles notes. I mean, you're now a director. What was the journey like? Like, what was it like going from being an actor and then going into being a director?
Well, you know, it's funny. I actually started as a theater director because I started in the theater. Myself and Maxine Bailey, Maxine, who runs the Canadian Film Center, is, you know, the sister of Cameron Bailey, like the Baileys, who runs TIFF. So,
no relation to Donovan.
No, I don't know.
Maybe.
So we wrote a play called Sisters, and we needed a director for that play, and I fell into directing it. So I actually started directing and acting at the same time. Then I got this film called Rude, which was directed by Clement Virgo, went to Cannes, was the first Black film that went to Cannes, blah, blah, blah. And honestly, you know, you're an actor. You're like, so is this what acting is like? Like, you're in a film and then you're in Cannes, you're stepping out of a limo. Do you know what I mean? The paparazzi. I was like, who doesn't love acting? And then I went to LA because I was like, well, obviously I'm big shit. I went to Cannes. I'm going to go to LA. I did not work, not once in LA. Like, not once.
I believe it. And it's not because you're not talented. It's just because this is the industry.
Well, and also at that time, I'm Black and South Asian. They
Mm.
did not know what to do with me. They were like, she's not really Black enough.
Yeah.
And we have no roles for South Asians because this was in the early 2000s. We don't even know what South Asian is. And unless you speak with a Latinx accent, they're like, I don't know what you're going to, so I literally, they didn't know. And also I wasn't urban enough, all kinds of things.
Cliches. You didn't fit
Yes.
like my early career as the Egyptian pharaoh #2 and Mohammed. And it's like, bro, I'm not even from there. Come on now, stop
You're
it.
the terrorist from Iraq, I'm sure.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So then, okay, so then
there just wasn't a lot going on acting wise. And so I went to UCLA for directing, and I started making a bunch of short films in LA with my friends. We just got together and we made a bunch of short films. That short film ended up coming to the Real World. So that was the inaugural Real World, which is a film festival in Canada.
Yep.
And I liked directing. And then I had a kid and I got married, and I was like, directing started to provide a much more stable income. So I kept acting, but I was directing more and more. And dude, I paid my dues. I directed unscripted. I directed restaurant shows, reality shows, paranormal shows. Like, I paid my dues. Amazing. And then I finally broke into scripted.
What was it Song and Story? That was way later. You did the
first scripted show that I did. Well, I won a Canadian Screen Award for my paranormal night shift. And so that was like recreation. So I think people were like, oh, okay, she knows how to deal with actors. Yeah. And then I did my feature film, Brown Girl Begins.
Brown Girl Begins, which that one I'm very much aware of, because that's when I first started in the business.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I was around the time, and of course Emmanuel Kabongo, he was I've seen him around and working often. So I was like, okay. Social media back then too, it's like you knew the Canadian actors that were working, you saw everything that was posting, and Facebook had a better algorithm at the time. You could actually see things that were happening that weren't.
So you started in 2015?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I started around 2015. I think 2017 was my first role ever, and it was a guest star as Egyptian bodyguard #2 on My Babysitter's a Vampire.
No.
Because I did a non-union commercial. They made me shave my head bald. My agent lost her shit, and then out of pure luck, this perfect guest star spot of Egyptian guard. Oh, look, he's bold. He's scary. It worked out well.
Oh, you're so lucky.
First actor credit. I'll never forget.
You're so lucky.
Yes, you did Brown Girl Begins.
Yeah, so I did Brown Girl Begins, and that was my foray. I'd done a bunch of shorts, and the shorts, one had gone to HBO, one, the shorts had done well. And then it was time to do that feature. Directed the feature. So it was Emmanuel Kabongo was in it, Muna Traore. And the producer on that, Floyd Kane, his show got greenlit, which was Diggstown.
Yes.
And so Diggstown started, and I think the first season I didn't get called. I think that's what happened. And I was like, dude, what's up? And then the second season I got called. And so that was my first 1-hour drama. And then from there, I got a TV movie with Kelly Rowland. Mm-hmm. And so that kind of helped them know me in the States. And then from there, I got Ginny in Georgia. And then I kind of broke into the Dick Wolf world of Law and Orders, Law and Order, Organized Crime, FBI, Chicago Med. And while I was doing those, then the power world. So there was two sort of worlds, the Wolf world and the 50 Cent, power.
Yes.
And so I sort of broke into those. So that's what happened. It really was because I did my feature film. And so when people ask me, how do you do it? How do you blah, blah, blah? I'm like, you have to do your own stuff. You have to. I just think you have to.
Yeah, I full-heartedly agree with that. And I also am an idiot. 2012 is when I started, not 15. I'm trying to be younger than I am.
I know. I was like, wow.
2015, 17 is when I was creating my own project. And that's how when I saw Brown Girl Begins, I was like, okay, this is more.
Oh, great.
Film. And I I knew you from the Real World alumni. I'm one of the
Yeah,
trailblazers.
yeah, the
Was very
trailblazers.
well involved in that world. So Real World was it was a great platform for creators making their own work and supporting with the telefilm grant and such. And they've always, till this day, they've always been checking in and such.
Yeah, and Real World, I mean, literally, that's how old I am. So you're trying to young down. I'm age enough. But Real World was like, it was the inaugural Real World that showed the film. Yeah, yeah.
Amazing.
And that was before it was kind of cool or trendy to, use the word BiPOC.
Yes,
Me?
exactly.
Yeah.
Real World actually was very big and instrumental in ACTRA. I was one of the heads of the YAP program, Young Emerging Actors Assembly. Real World actually showcased all of the films that we created through that umbrella. So they're a big sponsor for ACTRA's Young Emerging Actors. The YAS Shorts program is what it was called.
Yeah, I remember it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
So you've just I mean, it's a journey, but the career has been like, you've paid your dues, but it is on the ups right now. And it's crazy how when someone sees your work begets work. And, I always say this, and it's something that keeps me sort of pushing through as an actor, because as you know, we could just bottle these moments, but they're never, ever, ever going to always be like every day. Like, oh yeah, you're on a TV, you're on a set, you're working. It's going to take years. But, I think that if you get the opportunities and you continue to push and you continue to showcase your work begets work, and people will notice, and you will continue to work and continue to work. As which with Law and Order, you get into that world, and then they have you on Law and Order Toronto, and then you go into the Law and Order, the US original series, and then you get these two shows going on at once, and then Star Trek, and you're working because you're talented. And I think as long as we keep pushing, you got to get. It's hard as a Canadian. That's where I'm going to go with this. Canada has a hard star system, or lacking thereof of a star system. Like, did you find that frustrating? Because you talked about, you did your cons film, and then you went to LA and you didn't work. Did you find like a bit of like you're Canadian, and it's like, oh, you're Canadian. You know what I mean?
Definitely not that, no. But here's what I will say, the difference in working in Canada and working in LA as an actor.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we could learn a little bit of this in Canada, was that when I was making my short films through SAG was very, very supportive and had all kinds of ways that a filmmaker like myself with no money could make money. I could make a film, and they wanted you to.
Yeah.
My challenge with ACTRA when I tried to make those same short films here is that there was not as much distinction between being an actor/producer and a producer. And so I think one of the things that I feel like we could learn here is just to be a little more flexible when it comes to supporting actor/producers/directors making their own stuff, because that's the future, right? Yeah. It's taking a phone, ChatGPT, writing your script. Just kidding. Just kidding. But for real, we're going to have to make more and more stuff, because it's so competitive out there. Yeah. But the positive side of that is that if you have a unique story to tell, if you have something different to tell, we can do it. We don't have to wait for the people to say, yes, okay, go ahead and make that film. And in fact, when I made Brown Girl Begins, it took me 15 years to make that film. And do you know why that film got made? Because finally Black Panther got made. Same year. And they were like, wait.
Trendy.
Black people go to sci-fi? Because I had been told for years, oh, no. Black people don't go to sci-fi. No. And I was like, are you insane? And I optioned Nalla Hopkinson's novel. So when Black Panther happened, I think Telefilm and everybody kind of went, oh, cool. All right. Yeah.
Interesting.
So if I had just waited for somebody to say, okay, it's time for you to make that film, then I wouldn't have had that film at that moment to then, have Telefilm jump in for the post-production part.
Absolutely. The only thing that Black people will never make a film about is unseasoned food. That's the only goddamn thing. All right.
It's a horror.
Bland ass food.
Horror.
Then you're not. Don't fund that movie. Nobody's
Yes, exactly.
fund it. It'll be.
Or fund it.
Everyone will watch the hell out of it because they'll be like, "What? I'm interested."
Yeah. Yes.
No, it's crazy how trendy is, and it's that's my biggest thing, especially when we talk about being a BiPOC creator or artist in general. Is like I hate it's a love hate for me. It's yes, the opportunities need to be there, and they always have these like shadowing opportunities for people of color and these funding opportunities for people of color and film festivals, but at the same time it's like I just want people to recognize us for being us for being a person. It doesn't have to be a person of color, and it's like I'd rather, and again, it's a perfect utopian world scenario. It's like I'd rather audition for the character. I'd rather you see a white guy, brown guy, Chinese guy, black guy, Hispanic, female, even if you want to go genderless for the character, and then say, okay, this person fits this part and also is the most talented, and boom, there you go. It's like when you audition for the Egyptian Guard 2s, it's like I hate that a little bit because it's like, oh, I know it's going to be between one and my or 5 other friends that look like me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's weird. We're in a weird place. It's a weird world.
But let's be real for a minute, because I think what you're saying is, it's interesting because when you guys sent me the interview questions and there was a lot of questions about BiPOC. It's so funny. I always have that reaction of, definitely I'm going to talk about BiPOC because that's who I am.
Yeah.
But I really envy the interviews that focus on craft, that focus on Ava DuVernay did this. Ava DuVernay, as you know, is a Black filmmaker. She did I can't remember the name of the series, Shotless, something, but she refused to talk about being BiPOC and focused on talking about the craft, because we never get to do that. So, when I did The Circle with Brown Girl Begins, and it was an Afrofuturist film, I loved that they asked me about that, but I also wanted to get asked the questions like, what was it like working with your actors? What was it like, filming in Toronto? What was it, that? And I think that's what you're saying, Fareed. You also, as an actor, want to walk in and just be seen as an actor for what you're bringing to the role, as opposed to, do we need a brown guy for this role?
And you know what? Yeah, and I agree. But we just get started. We're just getting started on the show. I'm getting the BiPOC stuff out of the way because I got the generic questions coming. Don't worry, because I really do want to pick your brain because I don't get to.
Oh, that's not a thing on you or the questions.
No, I know.
The world we live in.
Agreed.
And you're saying you're torn too, because I also want to talk about BiPOC. We're not going to just pretend I'm not.
Yeah.
And I don't want to walk into a set and everybody go, I don't see color. Well, then you're blind, because
it's there.
That color. Yeah. So it's not about being blind. It's about allowing us to have the full experience. Right. Sure. Yeah.
It's going to take us a while to get there, but I think we are making strides. And when you're seeing the stuff that is being made on television and the shows that are winning, the CSAs like The Porter, and the shows that are being popular right now, like Power, and BET making their own content, we are seeing that things are slowly progressing.
Allegiance.
Yes. Shout out my girl.
Right?
Yep. 100%.
Soups. Do you know what it was like to be on a set with a South Asian star, South Asian creator, South Asian producing director? Like, that's the thing behind the camera. Beautiful, amazing director. Turn around, there's writers, 2 South Asian writers. And it's not just like, oh, isn't that cool? We're all South Asian. It's that when a question comes up, there's no explaining. There's no having to well, what I'm trying to say is there's an understanding in the same way that there is if you go on a set and you're of similar culture and background, right?
Absolutely. Here's my little Coles notes about Supinder. So me, her, Fuad Ahmed, who I'm sure you know, formerly as Gabe.
Fuad was the guest star in my episode.
Edson Morales, we all started at the same time in this little, Fuad was working a lot more. He was a little bit more seasoned, but all 4 of us did this little tiny double header Indian play in the middle of nowhere. I think it was Mississauga or Brampton. And it was, one play was about a blind girl who goes on a date, and the other was one called Anthony of Green Gables, which I was in. It was like a young Indian boy who played Anne and like she played both characters. Shout out to Green Gables affair. And all four of us, like to this day, like it's nice that you see this group of these little brown kids, and all of a sudden, like years later, Supinder is now a lead of allegiance.
And killing it.
Yeah, Fawad is working on so many series right now as a guest star. He was a lead of a Hallmark feature, which is something you never saw.
Totally.
I'm on Moonshine. I'm doing my thing as a little funny dude. And
I love Moonshine, just so you know.
Digstown was I was okay. So we shared the same set AD. Oh my god, I'm forgetting her name. It's gonna kill me.
Oh, who's that?
The girl, the small little black girl. They're the ones that are, they call them fourth AD, but they're not really.
They're talent.
Yes, the talent wrangler, and because Digstown was shooting in Halifax, and it was a show about lawyers, and you need to audition for that show. That show is so fucking good, and I'm like, I know, nothing fit at the time.
Moonshine was a really good show. It was quirky. It was funny. It was. I think Canadian television at its best, because I actually think when Canadian television isn't too earnest, we do really well. It's part of why I liked Allegiance. Allegiance was about this Punjabi family. Do you know what I mean? It was set in a procedural, but it had this extra element of this Punjabi family, but there wasn't this like, we are so downtrodden, we are blah, 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 we are Punjabi. They just were.
Yes.
They just were.
Yeah.
And then all the things that happen with that. And I think Moonshine, whenever Canadian television doesn't take itself too seriously, I think we're like, yeah.
I have I don't know. I have such a love-hate for I love Canadian television. Don't get me wrong. I just think it gets underappreciated because there's this I feel like this is a stigma of you talk to your friends in the US and they're like, oh, it's a Canadian show. I didn't watch it. And it's like, give the shows a chance because there's a lot of gold in there. Mm-hmm. And it's only until for some reason you see these shows and they pop years later. Kim's Convenience years later, Schitt's Creek years later. And it's like, again, the trends. But you see shows like that and you're like, dude, there's a lot of talent in this country.
Well, our comedies have always done well.
Yeah.
Our comedies have always done well in the States. It's more our dramas like the Hudson and Rex, the Murdoch Mysteries, do you know what I mean? Elite, it's those shows. But those shows do well internationally. Murdoch Mysteries does well internationally. Hudson and Rex, I don't know, it's in 5 million countries. Yeah. You know what I mean? Everyone loves that dog. So I think that we do well internationally in the drama department. It's the 1-hour dramas that are hard to penetrate the U.S. market.
100%. I agree. I'm going to pivot real quick. I'm going to ask you some question about the process and the craft because I always do, and I love this question.
I literally thought when you rolled back, when you said you were going to pivot, you were going to leave.
Yeah, I'm going to pivot for a second.
Yeah, I'm just going to pivot first.
Okay, so let me tell you something.
As a director, Sharon, would you frame me in profile? Yeah.
We're gonna do a close up on my eyeball.
So nice.
The process right now is different. I've noticed. Obviously, we've all noticed post-pandemic. Tapes. Everything has become tapes. I always like to give my little 2 cents. I am torn. Yes, it's nice that I don't have to, take time to go to my day and go to set, go to do an audition that you might never get. But I kind of loved it. I did love the rush that it's going to work. I love the drive it gave me. Even when you were scared, it was like energy. What's your thoughts these days? Because it's a lot of tapes and I've gotten a lot of feedback from producers, directors, casting directors. Your job now has become, I think, difficult in the sense that you're only judging performances solely on a self-tape for the most part. I would assume it's rare that you get to see people live, or sometimes you get to see them over Zoom. Maybe in the callback sessions, you get some live. But when I did Moonshine, for example, top to bottom, it was Zoom auditions. It was a self-tape. Wow. It was a chemistry test on Zoom. It was a chemistry callback on Zoom. I had to kiss my co-star on Zoom. So what's your thoughts on how it's gone?
I'm so glad you're asking me that question because I started as an actor, I have a ton of actor friends. And I always say to them, here's the number one rule. And they're going to hate me for saying this, but if you have a chance to audition. Because I know the new thing now is well, just look at my reel. We'll just look at my reel. Or I'm at a place where I don't need to audition. Okay, cool. But you literally take yourself out of the game because TV goes like this, right? I get hired for prep, like let's say on a Monday, we have to have our casting done by the Friday.
Mm.
So it's like, if I don't find you in the first round, we're going to get somebody else who is, coming in, and I'm going to have to cast them. So if you have a chance to lay down an audition, do it, because I am going to watch your reel. Let's say it's for Chicago Med and you're playing a doctor, and I don't see any doctor in your reel. In fact, I don't see anything similar to the character in Chicago Med. I can't hire you.
Mm.
So let me just talk about that first. Audition. If you want the part, audition. Because if I see you in the part and I'm like, oh, nailed it. Fareed nailed it. Then, and it's not just me who then goes to the producers, but then I can fight for you. I can say, look, like this person nailed it, or I love their interpretation. I can also call you and go, hey, Fareed, lay down another one and go this way, because I know that's what they're looking for. So that's that. And I agree with you in terms of the self-tapes. As a director, it is soul destroying. Then I'm not in the room with you, because again, what happens is if your self-tape doesn't nail it, you and I aren't going to play. So you throw something down and you're like, you know what? I think Sharon's looking for like a very straight-laced, cool, interesting take, but it's not what I'm looking for. But you're a really good actor. So I can turn to you and go, Fareed, play it like he's a stoner. Oh, cool. All right. And then we play. But with your self-tape, and like, watching it. Maybe if there's something in there, I can call you back.
That's the problem I'm finding. Guys, look, this is one of the things that I love one of the things that I have, what am I trying to say here? One of the skills that I've taken very seriously that I think makes and breaks actors is taking direction, because as an actor, you need to be flexible. You need to be chameleon. You need to show that you have range, ability to change something fresh, because that's what TV acting is. It's you take different versions and you put the ones that work together. That's part of it. And I find with the self-tapes, it's a lot of guesswork,
Totally.
And as an actor, it's like, it's part of your job. You got to see, okay, what network is it on? Okay, what is she directed? What is this character? What is, where are we going here? And you can get a general idea, but it's exactly like what you said. I'm sure there's times where in the room, you'd say, okay, this person did exactly what I was looking for, but let's see how well they can take direction and throw them a fucking curveball.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the part we're missing.
Well, it's not even just throw them a curveball, although sometimes that's fun. It's more about you, and this is almost impossible. So you don't get the scripts as actors, especially in TV when it's the turnaround is that quick. So you're guessing, and you got all the beats except for one beat. And I'm like, that beat is so off. And that's going to be against the number one. And I know the number one's not going to play it like that. So I have all that info, right?
Right.
And then another one, I'm like, but they're playing it more like how I know the number one's going to play it. If you were in the room, I can say, Fareed, just on that beat, give me a little bump up. So it's not just about, can you take direction? Yes, but it's literally, can you do this specific job that I'm asking you to do? Because you're going to show up on set. You and I are going to say hi for about 2 seconds. And then I'm going to be like, okay, dude, let's read the words and let's block it.
Yep.
The way that I like to work is I love to like block it, get the sort of general blocking out of the way, and then go over to the actor, especially a guest star, because I know what it's like when you walk on and you don't know anybody. And then we talk through the scene. So we're not doing it on set with everybody standing around with the gaffer going, hurry up. Then we go and we talk about it. But I'm with you. Self-tapes, great for actors in terms of like getting to do them like that. Also, can I just say to actors, please don't worry about lighting. Please don't worry about like perfect sound. In fact, sound is more important than the lighting because we need to hear you. But I see actors spend hours and money and like even light and great. But dude, ultimately what's going to get you that job is, did you nail the part? And the other thing I will say is, do not worry about getting the lines exactly right. I would rather you not hold up the script, and I'd rather you drop into, my mentor was Kari Skoglund, who is a huge Canadian and now American director. And she said, when actors walk in with the sides in their hand, she kind of judges them because she's like, this is a big part or a small part. And why wouldn't you know the lines? I always had my sides there just in case. But she's like, if you're reading off your sides, do you know what I mean? You're handicapped. You're not able to get into that full moment. So I'm like,
So
try
you
to
mean on set or in the audition room?
in the audition room.
Yeah, yes, 100%.
Try to memorize as much as possible, but even if you get it wrong, give me the juice. Make it a drama. You know what I mean? As opposed to getting it word perfect.
Yeah. I fight with my wife all the time. She's a physician, so she's this way, and she's like, "You didn't say that properly. They're gonna." I'm like, "It's okay, babe. It's not surgery. They want to see.
Yes.
They want to see human."
Yeah.
And then she gets in my head. So, what if you get a really like writer who just like, I love that, except he said that part wrong, and I'm like, oh no, maybe they will do that. Who knows? It could be some guy who does that. It could happen.
It could happen, but that's more likely to happen on set.
Yes.
Than in the auditions, because it's really the producer and the directors that are looking at. I mean, the writers as well, but yeah. I mean, if you start going off, and all of a sudden, this is in a Trini accent. You know,
this is Murdoch Mysteries in like Canada, dude. Although Anne of Green Gables did go to Trinidad one episode.
They did. They absolutely did. Yeah.
I will say, one of the actors, I did some loop group for it, and one of the actors said avocado, and I was like, nah.
Oh no,
that's avocado, bro.
Yes. Oh no.
We have some live questions for the audience. Before I go there, I'm going to ask you one more part of the whole audition process, because I think a lot of the stuff with the light, like I do have like a little backdrop and just a ring light, like a little basic thing.
Absolutely.
I think it's because also we have like, and I'm not saying this disrespectfully, and so I hope this is we have to get past also casting. The casting directors are
no.
We don't? Because
no, I'm saying you are right. Can I tell you a really quick story?
Sure, yeah.
So I was directing Chicago Med.
Mm-hmm.
I had cast this guy from FBI Most Wanted, and he killed it. Then I saw this part on Chicago Med, and I'm like, he would be amazing for it. Told the casting director, bring him in. Sent me the links. He wasn't on it. This is the director asking for this specific actor. So I asked, they put him on the link. He got the part. Like, he nailed it.
That frustrates me a lot.
Fareed, me too. Like, I was like,
their jobs are hard. Casting director jobs are very hard. But it's happened to me where, like, and I think part of it's on the agent as well, maybe too, because like I feel like the actor, or it's limited. The control is, it's like you get a tape, you put it down, and then it's in the universe, it's in God's hand.
Totally.
But I recently just did a Christmas movie with Jerry Chicoretti, who I've worked with many. This is the third time, hat trick. I love the guy.
Yeah,
but I had
super talented.
Yeah, amazing director,
and also Canadian legend. Let's just say, right?
And knows how to dress because he's Italian. But my agent, I had to remind him, like, hey, like Brian, like let's tell casting I've just worked with this guy. It's like, hopefully that little nugget because your only hope as an actor is to get on that short list. And I want to ask you, do you find, like, are you ever get frustrated? Do you find that maybe you're seeing the same people? Do you find you're seeing enough variety? Just generally speaking, we're not going to narrow down casting, but do you find, like, in our business and industry in Canada, are you seeing enough variety? And again, it's hard because that's part of the taping thing. There's so many tapes have to filter through, and casting directors want to keep their job. So they're going to keep presenting the right people, the ones that have been working, the ones that have been tried and true. Like, are you seeing enough of those, like, hey, this could be this guy hasn't done anything, but this guy could book this part? Are you seeing enough of that?
I would say, the great thing about Allegiance is that when I worked on Allegiance, because we were casting so many South Asian actors for one episode, I got to see people that I never get to see.
Right.
Because they were switching across the country for those roles. I find some casting directors like Larissa Mayer excellent at that. She will always be throwing in new stuff for me. She takes chances. Like, she'll go, I know this one hasn't worked a lot, but take a look at this. So I think it depends on the casting director and the show. So I have to say, for the most part, I get to see a lot of talent. But what I've learned, and this is how naive I was, I didn't know that the casting directors would hold back people, especially if I asked for them.
Mm-hmm.
So now that I'm less naive about that, I will say, are there any more people that I could see for this role if I'm not seeing what I want?
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
For sure. This actually is a question from the audience that kind of is relevant to what I was just talking about. It's from Jonathan, longtime viewer. Jonathan, we love you, dude. You're always so engaged, brother. You have some great questions, so thank you for watching. If you have a relationship with an agent, would it be okay for them to send you a pitch for one of their clients who is somewhat new to the industry, doesn't have a lot of credits yet?
This is an excellent question. Thank you, Jonathan. Here's what I'll say. I get actors emailing me resumes and photos all the time on Facebook and Instagram.
Oh,
There's nothing I can do with those.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
Actors send those like DM.
actors, yeah, DM me.
She's
They're
shy.
photo. It is, but the thing is, as a director in television, I get hired for an episode.
Mhm.
Then that episode goes to the casting directors. Do you know what I mean? So I, for sure, probably won't go and look back in March at a resume or a photo that was sent to me in March
100%.
for a job that. So my answer to Jonathan would be, unless it's in a show that I'm doing right then, it's probably not of any use because I'm probably not going to look at a new reel or unless I have a project for you.
100%.
Yeah.
There's just so many moving parts that you need to be working with. It's impossible to, especially if you got a bunch of them. But I think Jonathan, like it's what Sharon said. It's like if you're auditioning and you're new, your agent can maybe say, hey, like a little nudge. This is a good dude. Put this tape forward. Maybe here's $20. No, I'm just kidding.
You know what can help though? If your agent calls my agent, because agents talk to each other all the time. So
100%.
if your acting agent calls my agent and goes, hey, listen, I know I saw Sharon's directing, Star Trek Strange New Worlds, blah, blah, blah. There's a small little part that I think my client would be really good. Would you nudge her to take a look?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. JD is not really enough a question, but hey, JD, yes, face to face makes it so much more personal, alive. But self tape is always hard to guess. This is exactly what they want. I agree, JD. Yeah, it's the worst because I just moved to Toronto like 3 years ago. I was getting all these parking tickets going to auditions, and now that I'm in Toronto, everything's goddamn self tape. So I'm bitter about it.
Where did you move from, Fareed?
I was in Georgetown, Ontario.
Oh, okay. All right.
I was born in Hamilton, grew up in Mississauga. I went to like the art school,
Yeah.
Mississauga, and then my mom kept going more and more west.
Yeah.
I could drive from like Georgetown to the 401 all the way to Toronto. Sometimes for commercial auditions, I get thousands of tickets. It's brutal.
Yeah, and see, commercial auditions are tough, right? Because you go in and you're literally in there for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And there's a line of people. So I hear what you're saying, and I support that actors want to do self-tapes for that kind of stuff. But man, if it's like a juicy, chunky role, come in.
Yeah, you see, here's my thing. Here's my pitch. Is everyone's listening? Attention. I like what Sharon Forrest does. She does a hybrid. It's Zoom. It's still virtual. You don't have to get out and drive anywhere. But she's still like, at least she's supporting with the takes. Like because she has an understanding of maybe what you guys are looking for specifically.
Yeah.
And if you're not hitting the beat, then she's like, hey, like let's try another one. That one was great. Let's give them a variety to take and then move on.
Yeah.
That's great. And I know this is tough, and I know production's moving away from it because self-tape has just saved so much money and time. But it's like, if there's a big juicy part and you do a self-tape, I'd love callbacks in person. I'd love callbacks over Zoom.
Yeah.
Or again,
callback over Zoom.
Yeah.
I've done that. I've done I'm like you and I are right here, and I'll work with you over Zoom.
Yeah.
Like I try, if it's a big juicy part, to do a callback over Zoom for sure.
For sure. Yeah. When I did the Moonshine, Scott Smith was our director, our executive producer / director for the casting session, and he said something quite interesting actually, because he's looking at the positive of it. I was like, dude, how did you like navigate that audition process? He's like, oh, I was looking at the monitors. You're on this is your coverage. This is her coverage. It kind of worked out. I just pretended like I was on set. I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
One more question from Maya before we go to quick break. Good question, Maya. Did you find any differences in working on Law and Order Toronto versus Law and Order USA?
Yeah, I know no one's going to like this answer, but money.
Yeah.
Money. And I don't mean about how much I got paid, although that too, but the actual tools that you have.
Yeah.
Because the USA has so much more money to put into their procedurals, you as a director, so it's like painting. You can paint with red, white, or blue, or you can paint with red, white, and blue, and indigo, and pastel yellow, and green. And so if you have all of these tools, it also is better for the actors, right? Like it's better for everybody because it means I'm like, you know what, Fareed, I want you to do a little walk and talk. But in the walk and talk, I'm going to have a dolly follow along and it's thrown in front of you, which means you only have to do it once, not repeat the same. So already your performance is more even. Do you know what I mean? So it's not just about getting paid and all of that. It's really about getting to have the tools. But here's what I'll say about Law and Order Toronto. Those Cameron sisters are on top of it. So the scripts are fantastic. And once you get a fantastic script, everything else is like butter. It's just butter.
Yeah, it just
the actor is like, I got something to play in every scene. And so I would say the scripts in Law and Order Canada are really, really top.
Nice.
Really, really good. Yeah.
Great question, Maya. Thank you. I broke through Fort Knox and worked on a Dick Wolf show in the USA. Hey, good job, Maya. Congratulations.
Good one, Maya.
We're going to take a quick little break. First of all, shout out to the red leather jacket, Sharon. We didn't give that some love. That shit is fire right there. Loving it. Guys, we're going to get a quick break from our sponsors. One of them is the commercial for my series that I created. Sharon did mention, create your own stuff. This is the teaser for Day Players. You've all seen it. Making my push for the CSAs. We just finished winning a Telly Award, and we are live on YouTube. We got over 50K views. So please make sure you guys subscribe and hit the like button on those episodes. Watch. And here's a quick little break. We're going to be right back.
You are a born protagonist. Look at you. You're a failed professional.
Okay, I wouldn't say failed.
You're a finding bastion of hope in a rundown old school.
I mean, it's not that bad.
It just happens to be shared by the only woman who ever broke your heart.
What did you do?
Shh. Just watch.
I've got a lot of auditions lined up. Like, so many auditions.
I can imagine. I can relate. I'm having so many bookings. Like it's like a library, just books everywhere. That's right. You're looking at the host of Canada's Next Great Handyman.
I nailed my audition, bro. They said they'd call me.
Guys, I'm going to be the host of Canada's Next Great Handyman. You are looking at the host of right over.
Okay, I'm feeling a little bit of hostility from you right now.
Oh, please mansplain it to me so I can understand it better.
Clearly you don't know what mansplaining is. Let me break it down for you.
He's dead.
Which is the purest and greatest form of theater? Improvisation.
Told you I would eat you. I told you I would eat.
Woo! Let's go!
I cannot watch this anymore. This is agony.
My objective, my game here, is not to keep you in perpetual classes. My game here is to get you camera ready so that when the opportunity arises for you to compete for a role, you get the role. And you are so incredibly efficient and effective on set that, oh my gosh, you're called back in to read again and again and again. You're invited back to the party again and again and again. That, to me, is what a good class should be all about. Getting you to the point where you don't need a class. And if I play my cards right, and if you guys do your job right, hopefully it won't be long before that's the case.
Someone once said space is dark and cold. Our job is to bring light, bring warmth, bring life to wherever we go. Is this a hit it situation?
It's whatever kind of adventure we want it to be.
This crew is a team, the finest Starfleet has to offer.
Indeed. It's possible they don't know about us. They know about us.
There is evil in this universe, as sure as there is good.
The choices you make in that chair, they are yours to make and yours to live with.
We await your orders, sir.
You don't trust me with your best friend?
You don't trust me with your baby brother. It's madness.
We have to stop this invasion. Prepare all weapons.
Get to the ship!
We are going to find our way out of this together.
It's 1 in 1,000 we get it done right or don't blow ourselves up along the way.
I like those odds. We'll just turn it off before we blow up.
Give me 5. Now, down low.
Why would you do that?
Because you are too slow.
Star Trek: Strange New Worlds.
Peace.
Big up, Sharon. Congrats on that. That was
And congrats on your show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, that's super
Struggle.
exciting. Oh, I know. But you're doing it.
Yeah, man. We got to.
Yeah.
Because if you're waiting by the phone for your agent to call, you're gonna die alone, sad and lonely.
And also, it's craft. You need to tell stories. You need to create, right? Like that's what you
100%.
do.
You know what? No, all jokes aside, it was fulfilling. I would do it again. It was absolutely the most fun I had. I got to work with some amazing, talented actors and like my peers. Got to produce, learn how to dabble in producing and creating. So it was great. It was so much fun. So thank you for that. I just wanted to share some Instagram comments because we don't see them on our thing here. My buddy, my boy, Kalel, on Instagram. Sharon is an amazing director. Had a blast working with her a few years ago. So it's not posted on here. I can't post it here, but some love. Dano Shakil says, hi, Freed and Sharon. Long time Freed. Love. Thank you guys for watching on Instagram as well. So we got views all around. We're like the Star Trek universe. We're just I wanted to ask you about how your acting fed the directing, because here's my understanding of being a director, and it is not by any means any sort of educated understanding. It's just what an actor thinks about a director. I've noticed that there are two main components about being a director, and that's what makes it so difficult. It's like hockey. You got to skate, and you also got to be able to stick handle. I feel like directors, you guys have to understand how to work with actors. That's like being able to direct the ship, work with the actors. But at the same time, you're also directing the vessel itself. You got to direct your crew, but you also got to make sure that the ship is being steered. Pirate hockey analogy. I don't know where I'm going with this.
I know. I was like, oh my God, if he makes another sports analogy, I'm going to be
ADHD is
like, I can't do sports. No more sports analogies.
Okay, so it's like, here's an apple. No, I'm kidding. So with directing, you have to be able to guide your actors, but you also have to understand camera work, camera lenses. I know you have a cinematographer for that, but I feel like it's part of your job too, being able to know what frame you want, what lighting kind of things you want. Like, did you find that was harder for you to adapt to? I know you went to school for it, but as an actor, I feel like you understand actors. So do you know what I'm asking you?
Yes. And I would say absolutely. Because I came from theater, I had an idea of blocking. So like where to put people and all of that came almost naturally. And part of being a director is your blocking, right? Like, are you somebody who likes to put people sort of, depth wise, like, whatever the blocking, do you like people moving a lot? The technical aspect of it, especially being a woman of color, because I'm judged on set already as to somebody who's not going to know that. Honey, I went and did as much work as I could. So I took a lighting course at Lyft. I took a cinematography course. So that I could actually come with the language, but also I had 15 years of shooting unscripted. in which case you are constantly moving all the time and having to direct people who aren't actors, which is much harder than directing actors. So I think that 15 years of experience in dealing with camera, dealing with lighting helped, but absolutely, that was the hardest part for me. Not so much in seeing what I want, because I think as storytellers, we all see it's the language. Like, I need you to do like a little cha-cha of lighting on the side here. Well, and to be honest, that's how I still talk. I need a little cha-cha of lighting here. I just know now what's possible. Like if I have a camera here and I want to cha-cha over here, I'm going to have to put the camera on the same side, things like that. But I would say my superpower is working with actors because I understand them, I respect them, I like them. And not every director, as you know, likes actors.
Right. Yeah.
It's funny, you would think, but some directors, it's all about the technical and it's all about their blocking and all about the shot that they want to get. And they just are moving the actors as, I experienced that as an actor. Have you?
I have. It didn't bother me because I understood the stressors. I was able to just kind of let it go over my head.
Right.
I do appreciate when there's like a director who like has some empathy and understanding. Jerry's great of being able to do both.
Yeah.
He's like, Fareed, I'm just gonna move you around. Okay, don't be offended. We're moving fast. Blah 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 blah. I was like, please.
And you're right. As a director, you have to do both. Although there's a lot of technical directors that work a lot, but I think to be a good director, you need to have an image in your head and work with your collaborator, which is the cinematographer, to get that image on the screen. Because the image is part of the storytelling. Like if you and I are doing an intimate scene, but I'm in a huge wide and you're in the corner of the frame,
weird.
Not have that emotional impact.
Yeah, it's weird.
It just might not. Yeah. Or it's a choice.
100%. And I feel like that's a very important piece that I don't see a lot of. I see it. I wish I could see it more and I get it. It's budget, it's timing in our Canadian shows of like that cinematography thought, that lighting thought, that like, you know what I mean? It's not that like just sepia wash on everything.
I don't know, Fareed. I think Canadian shows are doing a wicked job with that.
Yeah.
Sight Unseen. Oh my God. Mike Marshall is the DP on that. It is stunningly beautiful. Like really, really beautiful. I think that Allegiance also beautiful.
Allegiance is really, see, that's what I'm saying. It's starting to pull out. Like Allegiance is well lit and it's beautiful to look at.
And I think we have amazing, as much as we have amazing cast, we have amazing crew. So Strange New Worlds that you guys just showed, like I work with a Canadian DP on that show.
Yeah.
I work with a Canadian production designer, a costume designer. So there's a ton of Canadian talent. So that's why that line between Canadian and American is kind of blurring.
Which I'm glad to see. And I don't think it's a lack of, to clarify, I don't think it's a lack of talent. I just think it's a lack of like the freedom. I think back in the day, like we weren't getting that freedom to do those creative things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was everyone, like you say, the tools, red, white, and blue.
Yes.
That's all you got. Or you said yellow. It did the wrong colors. Like, whereas now what we're trying to do is see more of that. It's like, okay, allow the cinematographer to come up with these creative shots with this creative lighting cues, tell the story with lighting even. And like, that's it is coming out. I just feel like we need more of it, more, and like kind of like take the leash off and let us play. But I get it. There's always moving parts and cogs, and budget is always one of them. And it's tough because our country obviously we're so densely populated in 3 or 4 areas.
Yeah.
We don't have the funding for it.
Yeah. But I'll say this too. I think that, filmmaking, the very first film I made was shot on 35. You know what I mean?
Nice.
And since then, I mean, look at the tools that we have. So I think that's also why it's getting easier and better, because it's actually getting cheaper to get the tools that we need to do. And I had said to you before we did this that we have to mention AI because AI is such a touchy subject amongst film and TV artists. And I really think as BiPOC people, we cannot miss the boat. We're going to have to jump on that boat and understand AI and use it as a tool to help support us and still look for ways to find, to make sure we're not getting ripped off and and make sure there are models where we get paid and compensated for our work. But if we just kind of go no AI, I'm telling you, we're going to miss the boat.
Yeah, it has to become a tool as opposed to a weapon.
No or yes.
Yeah, it's definitely a tool. That's the thing with all of our tech, like, social media, Instagram, again, your cell phone. If you miss it, you're gonna jump off the boat. A quick little Instagram comment from Lara Tai 1. Thank you for this insight. You're always so supportive. Lara Tai. Viewers, if you have any more questions, we're near the end of the show. Please drop in your comments. Try to go on the Facebook page because we see them populate in our app. That is the best place to leave it. But I'm going to ask you a few of our last bit questions, Sharon, that we ask all of our guests because we think it's important. And it's kind of going off of what we were just talking about. So segue. I'm going to pivot here.
Nice.
Callback joke. Canadian industry in general, you could choose many things. If you had a magic wand and you can just change one or two or three things that would benefit the Canadian industry for the better, what would you do?
Okay, this is a boring answer, but it's very crucial. The BBC gets funded for. Okay, thank you.
I know what you're going to say.
For 10 years. That means that they don't have to worry every year how much funding they're going to get or politically what's happening. Just fund the CBC for like 25 years. Just guarantee them funding regardless of who's in office.
That's why their shows are so good.
You will see that quality because it means that, oh my God, that show's not doing well. We got to pull it off. Oh my God, that show. Now the conservatives in. We got to make sure that we do. So that's one. Like, seriously, I'm like, if you funded our public broadcaster like you do the BBC, for a big chunk of time, you're going to see that content and you're going to see the CBC be able to risk. I worked at the CBC as a host in 2001, and then on Z, and I got to see their archives. And in the 1960s, everybody was on LSD and nobody was watching the CBC except for like hippies. But they did some wicked stuff, some really interesting and brave stuff because they had funding and they were on drugs. But it was a really amazing stuff. And then it got more conservative and conservative and conservative, not because the CBC doesn't want to do that stuff, but because they're worried about funding all the time,
Yeah, that's one of my favorite.
I'm so glad you did the happy dance to that because it's big.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing. It's like you want our local broadcasters to succeed. And that's why, like, when you say a BBC show, it's in par with like HBO. People are like, oh, BBC's good shit. CBC needs to also be that. It needs to not be this like, it's not such a joke, but it's like, the joke is that we never know what we're going to get funding wise. It's like, we don't know if we're going to have good content tomorrow and like poor content in a year from now. So that's a great answer. Jonathan, I got back with one more question. Can you talk about any current or future productions that you are or will be working on? Obviously, Star Trek is coming out. That's the most recent thing.
And I just finished Star Trek for season 4.
Nice.
So for season 4, which is wicked. And I'm leaving to go to St. Pierre in a month. I'm to direct St. Pierre.
Very nice.
Yeah.
My love, tell him he owes me $5. I'm just kidding.
Oh, no.
He doesn't owe me $5.
Okay, good. All right, good.
You way to confuse him. he was a big guest on Moonshine, so we worked very closely.
Oh, right, of course. Yeah.
St. Pierre, for those who don't know, is another one of our big CBC shows, and you need to have a passport to go there because it's a French colony.
Isn't that crazy?
Wild.
It's an island just off of Newfoundland that's actually owned by France.
There you go.
Yeah. So it'll be cool. We shoot some of it in Newfoundland and we shoot some of it in Newfoundland. So that's what I'll be doing next. Amazing. Before we run out of time, can I just give like some helpful hints to actors?
Yeah. Of course. Okay. It's your show.
Just being on this side of it, I just want to say the self-tape thing. When it's a smaller role and it's for TV, don't send in more than 2 takes. I've seen scene 1. Take 1, 2, 3. Scene 2, take 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm like, dudes, we're never going to get through all of that.
Right.
So send in your best 2 takes and make sure they're different. Because if I'm watching scene 1, take 1, and then I watch scene 1, take 2, and I can't tell you how much this happens, There's no difference. I know for you guys that maybe like, yeah, but that one I was slightly angrier. Yeah, you got to make a bold choice so that, and that's one of the ways we can get around this self-tape stuff. If you don't know, if you're reading it and you're like, I don't know if they want somebody like bitchy or they want somebody, do bold, just do 2 bold takes. And so the casting director can send those and I can go, oh, they can do angry and they can do sweet. Great. That's one tip. The other tip is when on set, that is not the time to pitch your project. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it to me. Don't do it to the DP. Don't do it to the producers. And I've seen young, new actors come on set and they're like, I'm going to take my shot. I'm going to take my shot. And I'm like, have a relationship, build a relationship first. You know what I mean? Just build a relationship first. You can hit them back and say, hey, I was that guest star on blah, blah, blah. Can I have take you for a coffee or whatever?
Right. That's a great tip. I didn't know people do that. That's really funny.
Yeah. But I get it. You're like, we're chatting, we're talking, and then you're like, hey, can you read my script?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Girl, I'm trying to fucking light the next shot. Where my coffee is, god damn it.
And the line producer's like, you're a half an hour behind, Sharon.
Yeah.
And it's not just me. I see like with other people. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sharon, I have this project. No, I'm kidding. Okay, we have one last question for you, and it's our little sweetheart question that we always ask. You can pick more than one again. We're not strict on the show. Everyone's got mentors, people they look up to, people who've motivated them and pushed them to where they need to be. Who is your mentor? Who guided you and why? And where are they today? And give your love to them.
I love that question. And the obvious choice would be to talk about Kari Scoveland, which she did. She was a great mentor. But, honestly, it was my grandmother.
Oh.
Yeah. My grandmother loved film. My father loved film. And my mother loved film and TV. So I grew up watching film and TV. And you don't even know that you're learning the language of film and TV. You don't even know it because you're just watching it. And my dad had a Super 8 camera. You know what I mean? He did. So it's my family, my grandmother, my mother, and my father. I really give a shout out to them.
What side?
So grandmother on the mother side.
Jamaica.
My father on the father side, Trini side. So yeah.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all the time we have today. You guys have been super engaging as always. Sharon Lewis, thank you so much for joining us. Actually, such a pleasure to talk to you. I think we touched on so many great nuances in this 1 hour window, and you've even given me selfishly a lot of insight as an actor that's going to help me in my career. So I do thank you. I can only imagine what you've done for the up and coming actors who are watching right now live. So thank you for your time, especially I know because you're so busy. Maya thinks says, thank you so much. We got thank yous popping in here. Guys, if you are auditioning, make sure you see who the director is. And if Sharon is there, come back and watch this and see all the tidbits and notes that she gives you because it's for free. You don't even have to get your agent to pitch. She just told you it's for free. It's free insight. So there you go. Guys,
can we both pivot? 1, 2, 3.
That's a great shot. That's comedy right there. Self-tape. Thank you so much. Thanks for hearing your experience and your guidance. Guys, thanks again for tuning in. This has been Entertainment 411. My special guest, Sharon Lewis, part Trini, part Jamaican, part actor, part director, part producer. Many hats, many flags. I'm Fareed Yazdan, your host. And tune in next time. We got some guests, so make sure you follow us on Instagram for the next one. Have a good night, everybody.